Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ruth, and yeah, today we're going to be talking about quite a meaty, juicy topic. So my first and only real disclaimer is that if you are a family member or an in-law, please just go ahead and click out of this video now, because you know why. Just, I don't even have to say it. Just go ahead and click out now. Thank you. But for everyone else, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about S to the E to the X, especially from a Christian standpoint, because for me, I have been a Christian since elementary school, basically. And so from a very young age, I decided to save myself for marriage, and not have sex until I am married. And I stuck to it, y'all. I did it. It was hard. It was never easy, but I stuck to it. So basically today I want to give a few tips for the wedding night, especially for those who have been saving themselves till marriage, because it's a new thing. And honestly, I feel like there's not that much information out there. We all know it's a very taboo topic in the church to talk about, and people just usually don't want to be answering questions about that. But I am not one of those people. I am happy to answer questions, happy to share my experience. And yeah, in this video, this is all based on my own personal experience. This is not research or anything like that. So obviously this is not going to apply to every single human being out there, but it can probably relate to, I think, a lot of people. So let's just go ahead and hop right into it. First and foremost, my number one thing that I want to share is just something that I kind of knew it going into it, but I just it was very different actually experiencing it. And it's that losing your virginity is painful. I'm sure it's not going to be painful for every single person out there, but it was painful for me. And when I asked some of my gal friends afterwards, I was like,
y'all, did you know it was gonna hurt this much? And they were like, yeah, it hurt that much for me too.
So yeah, that is just my number one thing I want to put out there of this whole TV experience that you see, or for me, I used to read a lot of books growing up of coming of age, where they would talk about girls losing their virginity and stuff, and nobody talked about the pain. People made it sound like it was going to be sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, but that was not the case. For me, it was painful to the point where few seconds in, I was like, ouch, exit, retreat, abort mission immediately. I could not handle it. That's how painful it was for me. And I have a very low pain tolerance. And also I know some people leading up to marriage do self-exploration and have, may not have had a person enter them, but they've had other things enter them. That was not me. This girl has been untouched. It was do not enter. I don't care what you are. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it looks like. Do not enter. So I don't know if that makes a difference. In my head, I would assume that makes a difference, that there was never anything to loosen it up prior. So that is just a fair warning that it is not going to always be a pleasurable experience at first for the very first time. And honestly, for me, it took weeks, if not a whole month, before it stopped being painful. And so that is just a real expectation I want to set with y'all. And it's very important for the ladies to know that, but I think it's very important for the men to know this as well, because this goes into my point number 2 of being patient. Obviously, your role as the husband from a Christian standpoint is to love your wife as the church. And I think that starts on night 1 of just being there for her and making sure that you're listening to kind of spoken and unspoken things. If she's really grimacing, what's the word, grimacing, if you can tell from her face that she's in pain, feel free to ask hey, we could take a break, we could slow down, just be patient. Just know that Obviously, you guys are about to spend a lifetime together. It's gonna happen a gajillion times. So like, just be patient for the first few times of like, okay, girl, I got you. Let me know what you need. Like, whatever you need, I got you. I think, especially from like a male perspective, it can probably be easy to get like caught up in the moment, especially if this is a guy's first time too. Like, it's probably like new pleasure that you've never experienced before. And so I can see, and this is totally like me speaking from, again, my own perspective and thoughts. I can totally see how it can be easy for a guy to get so caught up in how pleasurable it is that he forgets to, you know, check in with her and make sure she's okay. So that is just tip number 2 is men, be patient, but also women, be patient with yourself. Okay, so tip number 3 is making sure you're comfortable. And again, this applies to the guys and the gals because anybody can have past trauma, to put it lightly, of, you know, not everybody has a clean sexual history to no fault of their own. And there are some things that can make you really uncomfortable. So obviously in that moment, sometimes it's hard to verbalize, but to the best that you can, I would say verbalize with your partner if something they're doing is making you uncomfortable. And just can be as simple as, oh, I don't want to be touched there. Like, that makes me a little uncomfortable. Simple as that. Like, you don't have to get into everything. It's your wedding night. It's just still be, you know, pretty happy, positive vibes. So you can keep it as lighthearted as you want, but definitely with this new experience, like, you want to make sure you're comfortable to the best of your ability. And this also kind of goes into step number 4 of setting expectations, or like talking about your expectations for the wedding night beforehand. Basically what my husband and I did is we had marriage counseling leading up to getting married using this book, Catching Foxes. And there is a whole chapter in this book dedicated to sex and the union of husband and wife through sex in God's eyes. And basically it asks a bunch of questions. One, it asks about like past sexual trauma or past sexual experiences as a whole, and just to talk about that and kind of like set expectations of like, again, what would make you uncomfortable during sex. But it also does ask about setting expectations of what you expect on the wedding night. Because honestly, I think it's very important to make it clear that like, hey, it might not happen that night. It might not happen that week. It might take time. And that was something that I definitely had to talk to my husband about beforehand of like, hey, this is going to be something really new for me. I don't know how it's going to feel. I don't know what it's going to be like. If it does not happen on that night, is that okay? And we set that expectation way beforehand that like there was no pressure for us to start nor finish on that same night. So I think that's just another like really helpful tip, because in the moment it took the pressure off, where like I was like, it's honestly completely like my choice on how far we go this night. And for me, that was very helpful, and it made it a lot more comfortable for me, a lot more like natural and like less performative, or like less pressure overall. So that's definitely something I would recommend that you do with your partner. Again, if you're not having marriage counseling, like I would recommend that as a whole. But yeah, if you're not having marriage counseling, or if that's something that you guys didn't talk about in your marriage counseling for some reason, like definitely set that expectation with one another. So yeah, those are like the 4 like practical things I wanted to share, like specifically talking about like the sex aspect of it. Now, number 5, some of you guys might find this funny, but I think it's very key. I think it was very clutch, is make sure you have snacks. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this already if you're like in the wedding planning phase, but like that it's easy to like not eat on your wedding day. Like in the morning, you're so nervous and you're so focused on getting ready and like keeping things on time. During the cocktail hour, you're usually like taking photos and stuff, so you're definitely not eating during that time. And then during the reception, when everybody's getting their food and whatnot, like you usually are going around to tables and like talking to people and mingling, or like people are coming up to you and talking. So like throughout the whole day, there's not that many chances for you to eat unless you're like super intentional about it, which we were not. So by the time we like got to the hotel and we're like, burning all these calories, trying new things, we got hungry. And thank God, one of my bridesmaids packed us some of the food from the wedding, and we literally ate that cold in the hotel room. And it was amazing. Because for me, I don't know how y'all are, but for me, I'm definitely like, I think it's like the Snickers commercial that says like, you're not you when you're hungry. I am not me. I cannot function as a person, and I definitely would not be able to be trying all these new tricks out like on an empty stomach. And so being able to eat and like we were able to have like a meal basically, but like even if it was like a snack or a granola bar or some chips or something, like make sure you have that in your hotel room ready to go, because I think you will be hungry. Like, I don't know what your metabolism is like. I don't know how much you'll be able to eat on the wedding day, but like I feel like more likely than not you will be hungry. So that's just like my final big gala tip to share, is make sure you have some snacks or like are able to order room service or something. So yeah, those are all the tips I wanted to share. But overall, I do just want to say, for me, I personally have zero regrets about waiting till marriage. And I honestly am so happy that I did. And whether it's like waiting till marriage like completely, or whether it's like you were waiting to take that action with this partner that you're with specifically, I just think there was like something so magical and special about it for me, in terms of like I said, for me it was like painful and like obviously not the best experience the very first time. And like I just can't imagine myself like going through that pain for someone who is not gonna be like my lifelong partner, for someone who could like literally just like the next day be like, oh, hit it and quit it, bye, I'm out, deuces. Like I am just like so happy that I was able to experience that with a lifelong partner. So yes, thank you all for watching and going on this like awkward taboo conversation talk with me. Very happy to share my experiences. Feel free to comment down below. No hate comments though, because they will get deleted, so you're wasting your time. Don't forget to subscribe to follow along on this whole wedding. I definitely have like a bunch more like wedding videos coming out, like of the actual wedding day, and then just like more like tips and tricks and all of that jazz. So subscribe for that. I also do like a bunch of vlogs of my life now. So definitely follow along for the journey. Would love to have you on the ride. I'm a very like cool, chill person in my opinion. A little bit weird, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Have a blessed, beautiful day. If you are in a relationship, I just pray many blessings over your relationship and that it stays God-centered and God-focused. Thank you for watching. Love y'all. Bye.